Wild Tales is the title of this further film in competition here in Cannes, directed by Damian Szifron, who is here with us in the studio. Hello, you're with Véronique, who's translating for you. This is a first time for you in Cannes. What does it feel like to be in the official competition? It's an explosion of joy. I'm really grateful and delighted to have been selected out of all of the other filmmakers whom I really respect and admire. So it's pure joy to be here. Did you expect that you'd be coming to Cannes with this particular film? No. When I started to write the screenplay, I didn't. But when I saw it develop and I showed the first edited version to the producers and saw how enthusiastic they were, well, I really started to dreaming. When Thierry Frémaux saw the film, I really loved it and was very enthusiastic about it. Well, then I felt so thankful. I was on the beach with my family. It was the evening. And when I received the phone call, I ran into the sea and I looked up at the stars. It was absolutely wonderful, absolutely fabulous. Oh, what a lovely, energetic moment in your film. There's the same energy, although sometimes the energy is more violent, often a bit more controversial. Where did you get the desire to relate all of this rage and anger? Yes, I wanted to convey rage and anger, and I had such fun writing the screenplay. Unlike the characters, I really enjoy my work. I'm happy to be a movie maker. And it was great to have an opportunity to write about the things which drive me crazy in society. If I hadn't got this way of expressing myself, I'm sure I'd go crazy. And I could be very violent myself, perhaps, if I couldn't express myself in my films. There are very committed filmmakers. You're an angry filmmaker. I think that part of the artistic and narrative function is to have a critical look at the reality that we live. And when I talk about reality, I'm talking about social and economic systems which are everywhere in today's world and which govern the human being. I'm a humanist. I love human beings. I love what man can produce when he's free. But when man is transformed into a prisoner who is dominated and exposed to negative stimuli every day, well, I don't like that. Yes, we can all recognize ourselves in the characters in your film. We've all experienced those oppressive situations. These can be details sometimes, but which really drive you wild. Where did you find the different stories? Were these experiences that you have had yourself? Have you had your car towed away? Have you been trapped in a traffic jam? For most of the stories, most of these wild tales, I have experienced them myself. For others, I observed them. Things I've seen and witnessed. People in my family may have been involved. But my imagination had free rein when I was developing these situations. These are situations by which we can all be confronted. For example, when you're in your car, when you're driving. I would be the one in the old, battered car. I wouldn't be the one in the smart car. And the smart car behind me is flashing the lights, telling me to move over so that he can overtake. And so I experienced that very much myself. Oh, I would have imagined you in the smart car. I would have seen you in the fast car. Yes, it's possible that my car is slightly better than the battered old vehicle we saw in the trailer there. However, what really annoys me in such a situation, what really drives me wild, is the person who has the posh car feels that they've got all the rights in the world, and so I put myself in the seat of the person in the battered car. And that's how this story developed. Sometimes if I'm behind someone in a battered old car driving too slow, then yes, I can feel slightly angry. So you can be in both situations. Indeed, and we can identify in all of your characters some things which we have in ourselves. You've chosen some great stars to play in your film. Why did you choose them? Well, I chose famous stars because I admire them greatly. I believe in their careers, and I think that famous actors and actresses are not only famous because of all the advertising, but because they've had a long career and they are very professional and they have earned their place. So it's only natural to choose these actors because they are famous for a good reason, because they're quality actors. They're very famous in Argentina. They represent our society. They're full of talent, absolutely brimming with talent. And such actors can enhance our films. That's why I sought them out and continue to help them to develop as well in their careers. How did the actors and actresses react when they read your stories? Did they recognize themselves in these different situations? Yes, indeed, they were all really enthusiastic. They all instantly understood the type of conflict I was trying to describe. It was a very pleasant project for the actors because they had an opportunity to show this kind of conflict, and there's an evolution in the drama, which the tension mounts until they lose control and really blow their tops. And so the actors can develop through the different phases and stages, and they were really enthusiastic about the project. Yes, it's a violent build-up. It's almost like an orgasm, if you'll allow me to use that metaphor. The build-up of tension and then the release. Yeah, yes. Of course, there's that process which leads you to orgasm, can be very similar to the build-up of tension in the scenes, in the stories. And we work hard on that, and the bubble kind of the tension bubbles up, the anger bubbles up, and then all of a sudden there's an explosion. And I think your metaphor of the orgasm is quite apt. How do you direct the actors and actresses? What kind of references did you use for the different segments? For example, in the airplane, your camera's in the overhead locker. How did you choose your shots, and how did you construct the film in general? I've seen so many films in my life since childhood. My earliest memory is a film when I was 3 or 4. I went to see Superman, and that was the first image that ever comes to my mind. That's the earliest image I can remember. And thanks to my dad, who was my guide, my friend, also, thanks to him, thanks to my father, I saw so many films. And they have nourished my different thoughts. And thanks to all of those films, all those memories, I'm now able to tell my own stories. I love films, I love fiction, I love genre. I don't wish to oversimplify things because each time it's a metaphor of life, And it's how the human brain works, how we dream. Very often we talk about realistic cinema, but realism all started with the Lumière brothers here in France, who invented the cinema. So recording reality as it is one thing, but we're not recording what we see, but we can also record what we think we see, what we fear. And the different genre movies can explain all of that. Well done to the interpreter by my side. She's keeping up with me in perfect time. You were talking about Superman as your first reference. Because the protagonists in your film and each of the short clips develop and turn into a kind of superheroes. Yes, they're superheroes, and you're a super filmmaker here in Cannes. Your producers are Agustin and Pedro Almodovar. The first segment, which takes place in an airplane, reminds me of their latest film, which takes place in an airplane also. At one instant, we thought we would film this episode in the fragments of the plane that crashed at the end of the Almodovar's latest film, but it cost too much. So we decided to use a proper aircraft as our set. They were fabulous producers, and I would like to add that there are Argentinian producers, Sigman and Mosteirin, who are wonderful producers with great teams, and we've really worked well together. I believe in all of my actors and in the roles they play. I also believe in the role played by the producers. The interaction with the producers has been marvelous. Seeing how everything evolves, the project moves forward. Once we have finished our film, I finished my part of the work. I've got the final cut. So now we can hear what people say and incorporate the producers' ideas. They help make the film even better. You just mentioned Argentina and Argentinian film. We love Argentinian film. Here we've got the president of one of the juries, which is Pablo Trapero, who comes from Argentina. What's going on in Argentina in the cinema front right now? Well, the eternal question and an eternal discussion. I don't know whether film should be an art or entertainment. Both elements can be combined in a film in an honest way, and when that happens, it just seeps into you. For example, not long ago, I was talking with somebody about the trainer of Rocky Balboa in the film Rocky, who dies. And I feel I knew that person. And I feel that I grew up with that person. Of course, he's a fictitious character, but you feel that he's real. And when you can combine The Godfather, is it art or is it entertainment? Who cares? It's a masterpiece. That's all. That's what counts. In Argentina and in other countries all around the world, well, we tend to make a difference between art and entertainment, but there are films which are artistic and entertaining. Some might only be destined for festivals, some might only be entertainment. They don't have the same narrative value. They don't have the same professional approach. These are things, for me, which can be united. Oh, let's mention Paulo Trapero, who's the president of the Ansataraga jury, and an Argentinian filmmaker, and other names. These are filmmakers who have marked my life, and I consider that everything is valid and everybody can do what they like. There's no worry there. We mustn't lose the notion of filmmaking. I love making films. I love your references. Yes, Rocky, Superman, The Godfather. Welcome to Cannes, Damian, Szifron, with your film Wild Tales in competition at the 67th Cannes Film Festival. Thank you very much. Enjoy the festival. Thank you. Let's take a look at a few more